Just gonna put in your. Oh, something at your phone. We can prop it up.
Oh, it's numbers. Okay, that's good. Okay. Have your attention. 3, 2. You don't need your computers. You can close or crocodile them. 2 and 1. So for the next 2 hours, I'm really just building off of the seed that Sarah planted this morning of being empowered, and especially watching the empowerment dynamic. Like, I know I don't always empower people, and sometimes that's kind of disheartening to know that I've been trying to coach people and been trying to just be the best I can for Foundations, and that I really haven't always empowered people. I kind of come in and say, fill this out, complete this, have this done by Tuesday. And while I'm still going to do that today, I'm going to give you a little bit of right? You will have something to have done in 2 hours. But, so going back to our Foundations is every scholar grows. And as we saw today, we're not there yet. We have some growth, but it's not happening fast enough. And I think this is a really good time of year to like step back and think, why am I doing this? And every day when I go to plan, am I really considering my why? This is a little redundant because Sarah asked us to do this morning, but if you look at the sheet that Mr. Moore passed out, the first box is asking you why you teach. So I want you to take 90 seconds to write why not, and find 2 to 6 words. Really just lay it out there, be raw. Why did you choose this job in this neighborhood in this city? Okay. Go ahead.
So,
Get your head out
I
of that
chose this location for vacation.
box. All right, take 90 seconds on your own. About 30 more seconds if you need it. Go ahead and take another 90 seconds to share with your group. And try to make sure that everyone gets a chance. Go ahead. What'd you write?
My sister is the biggest fan
They're really similar. I mean, and the equal opportunity access to I think I worked out in Philadelphia and had like earth education and stuff. Trying to teach education for
I'm really doing like I make a difference in children's lives. What I do, and I believe it's naturally in my
About 20 more
DNA.
seconds with your group.
And I also like the fact that they teach me something I teach them, where I just, they just, I kind of learn about life and how to treat and everything, and so just
Let's have eyes up in 5, 4, finish up your conversation. 3, 2, thank you. 1. Thank you. So let's hear what people said. So you did our 6th word and we were poetic. Now kind of like your raw. And I heard a couple people saying like I feel hokey or I feel cheesy, and that's okay. Be unapologetic about that. Like, live it. This is why you're doing it. It may sound cheesy, but it's what it is. So I'd love to hear it. Or call out someone in your group to hear. Go ahead, Mark.
So, with I'm a community guy, so I grew up in this community. We had a really good educational system when I was growing up. Junior was almost considered like the Young of the South Side. Morgan Park was really a competitive school, and over the years I've been seeing that those institutions just plummet, and we need strong institutions, educational institutions in this community again, and that's part of the reason why I want to do why I got into this.
Bring back what you once saw. Here. Awesome.
I said reaching back to the type of community that pushed me forward. So just being in an area like this reminds me of home, and knowing that it took somebody in the school to show me that I could pretty much do what I wanted to do, and I want to have that same thing. It just my school.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to ask something?
Maybe just with my own experience, just giving every kid the chance to learn regardless of learning stuff. I'm not specifically thinking special ed, and just challenges that they face. So hopefully we're giving something that they can more relate to.
Anyone else can provide about that?
I want to be able to somewhat give a positive image. I said somewhat positive. of just, black male image in the school system is a shortage of that. And just giving them a chance to see somebody that kind of looks like them, somewhat successful.
I thank you all, and I know you've shared in your small groups as well. But for being a little vulnerable, because I think that's part of our growth today is like, sometimes when we get caught up in the day-to-day, we forget why we're doing this, and that impacts our presence in the classroom and what we put into our planning and what we kind of are doing with ourselves. So there's this theory, it's called Golden Circle, and it's about, everyone knows like their what and their how. I teach English, how we do independent reading, and then we do this, and then we do this. Like that is, you have to know that. Otherwise, you can't come in every day. If you don't start and lead with your why, people aren't going to follow you. So if people follow a why, people don't follow a what, semicolons go here. People don't follow like the how, they follow the why should I know this? Why should I follow you? And if we lose track of that, if we're not unapologetic about why we actually chose this job, because we're all educated enough that we could do many other things and make a lot more money and work a lot less hard. We could, but we chose to do this instead. So So think about, like, what is your why? And I'm gonna give you just 3 minutes of this TED Talk. This is probably more articulate about it than I am. Just kind of like living the why and how it works.
There's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, when you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a book, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers, the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple.
I'm going to stop you there, and it takes me back to what you just said when I asked for people, when I walked around the room. Nobody said, I chose to teach in this neighborhood and to be a teacher because I think it's fun to fill up 60 minutes of time before the kids walk away. No one said, I chose Foundations because they use Engage and I love just implementing someone else's curriculum. That's not why you did this, right? Like, you didn't choose, oh, well, Leah Harris has this AF curriculum that I can just, you didn't choose this profession for those whats and those hows, and we have to remember that. Am I even giving to my kids why we're doing this today, or why you should be invested in this? And if we're not, then they're not going to follow, and not enough of them are going to follow, and that's why we've gotten the 30 percentile of kids who are making their spring. And this is not to say that we do not have inspiring people in this room. It's to say we need to remember our why and let our why lead us in the goals that we have set for ourselves. So now I want to take us to kind of what our goals are and how this is going to drive us there. So kind of our team's key results, right? It's kind of hard to read. But we know this, and we've talked about it before, that 70% of our scholars are meeting the expected growth on NWEA, and that 40% are doubling that. And based on this morning, we know that not enough kids are where they need to be. Actions that we've already taken this year, and remember, we are not halfway through the year. We still have 6 months to go. So to be able to say that at this point this year, these are actions we've already taken to try to accelerate what we're doing. Just daily PDNs and exit slips are now more aligned to the widths of NWA. And we have an assessment cycle in Flex. That we have observation and feedback meetings with our coaches on a weekly basis. That we are meeting every Friday. We are meeting with our content teams. And these are actions that we've already taken, and this is nothing to shake our head at. That's a lot. So I want to not discount all of the things that we've done. And I say this over and over, but the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. So we can't just stop today and say, I have already put in this procedure, and I've already tried this. I don't know that me and my kids can handle another thing new. Well, they deserve it. And so we have to give that to them. Otherwise, we don't belong here.
No.
We don't, really? So, I'm gonna be unapologetic about that. We don't really belong here. We don't believe we have to do more for our kids. So how's it paid off so far? In terms of fall and winter, we had this morning 50% of our students in reading are meeting their targets and 58% are meeting in math. Again, we're making growth, which is not enough. And our kids deserve more. So what does that mean for today? What does that mean for you? We need to realign our mission. This is not something new, and I'm going to put aside my controlling ways and empower you to be the one to make this look how it looks for you. We have very different personalities. We come from different places. Own that. Do you. So be a teacher on a mission for excellence. So that's kind of where we're going to spend our time for the next hour and a half. Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire. There's a book, and this guy teaches in LA, and he's like, if I can teach so hard and give so much to the kids that I wouldn't even notice if my hair was on fire, then I know I'm giving enough. And until that, there's always more I can give. Teach Like the World Championship is on the line. Your sports thing. I wanted to put my John's not there, but then we'll remember what happens Michigan State or Museum, and I talk about it. So, teach like you would want to be taught, right? Like, do you want a teacher who's just going to fill 60 minutes of your time with things to do, and you don't even know why you're doing them? You don't want to sit in that class. Think of, like, if I were in this class, what do I need? I want to know my goals. How do I know if I've reached my goals? How do I know what progress I'm making, what failures I have? Like, am I just going through the motions? It's not a class you want to sit in, it's not a class I do. So let your why drive your excellence, and that be shown in your students' performance. So, what does that mean for me for now as a teacher? I need to know my goals. How can I communicate to my kids, this is where we're going, or this is your progress, if I don't know them? And that's kind of a downfall of having Engage and having AF, having some of the really strong curriculums that we have, is we don't know them as well because we didn't have to live through the really heavy work of creating. And I don't think it's a wrong choice that we have these curriculums. I think it's the right choice, but it is something that it's a double-edged sword a little bit. So we have to know our goals. We have to know our key results. And I mean smaller than 70% meeting and 40% doubling. I mean day to day, week to week, unit to unit, quarter to quarter. Do I even know what I want them to do? Can I say an 8th grade math student needs to be able to do A through J at the end of the year, and I can tell you which progress, who's met what, and can the kids tell you? And if I don't know my own A through J, then sure as shit the kids don't, right? So what are my goals? What are my key results? I want to just take a moment to just kind of jot down off the top of your head, what are the goals that you know you have? What are ones that you kind of, I don't know my writing goals as well as I know my reading goals, or I don't know my grammar goals as much as I know my speaking goals. So in those next 2 boxes, just jot down, like, what are these goals that I have? What are these key results? Like, how do my kids know? So just off the top of your head. specific, because you're gonna be doing that a little bit later, but just, well, I know it needs to be happening. About 30 more seconds. Five more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. These are pretty personal and independent, so I'm not going to have you share them with your groups because they are pretty different. And if you don't know your goals as well as you wish you did, I don't want to say that to your group right now, but you know it. So now we're going to actually make it happen. Before we do that, I'm going to give you a story. So yesterday I was at the Bears-Lions game, actually, with my friend, and she owns her own business in physical fitness. She trains athletes, she does classes, she goes to businesses and works people out, you know. And so she was asking me about, oh, do you have kids around? I was like, no, I'm doing this with these. She was asking me about it. She was saying in her kind of fitness training, she's been taught that as the personal trainer or the aerobics instructor, expect 50% from your participants of the energy that you give. So if you give 100%, you can really only expect 50% from your participants, and that's usually your most motivated ones. So you kind of have to give 200% if you expect 100%. These are people paying her $100 an hour. And she still feels like you have to give, like, so if you're not the energy and you're not the inspirer and you're not the why in the room, you can't expect much from your kids. And that's, like I said, adults paying $100 an hour. And she's still like, I have to be on 25 to get them to 10 because they're paying me to do that. Well, our kids aren't paying us, but someone is paying you to do this. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it happen. So I'm going to give you a little bit of direction, but I want you to let your why drive you today and let your kids feel your why. And we are going to be a little unapologetic about our cheesiness, smokiness, and selling our why to our kids. So if you flip over to the back, this is my controlling side, giving you an example, but then I'm going to let go. You are going to create a launch of your mission today. So that's something that you're going to deliver to your kids to sell them. You're going to give it to them every day, but you're going to create a launch so that you are planned to deliver some kind of, come on kids, jump on board because we're going places. You're going to deliver it at some point this week. It's not like changing your lesson plans. Doesn't need to be a whole day thing. It can be 5 minutes. But you're going to do something to let them know, here's where we're going, here's a goal. Post a goal somewhere. And maybe all the things that are going to happen in order to get there. And do you. Maybe you have a song, and you have a PowerPoint, and you have a chant, and you've got 16 posters. Do you? Okay? And you're going to deliver this launch to your peers here today in an hour. You're going to have an hour to come up with this. And then you're going to sit in a group of 4, and I will tell you 4. And you're going to deliver your 5-minute thing to your group, and they're going to give you feedback so that you are really ready to do that this week. And if you're not leaving here with just more homework, you're actually leaving with feedback. Because how often do we practice teaching or practice delivering and get feedback? Very, very, very rare. So you are so lucky that you get that today. So if you look back on the first page, this is kind of like an example of kind of how my brain wants to think about it. It's like, what what are these kind of bigger goals? So if I have a goal of students will be able to write a research paper using at least 4 quality sources with a solid claim, multiple reasons, evidence to support, counter argument, proper interpretation, and a works cited page by the end of this year, if that's my end goal, it's very easy for me to backwards plan from that. Well, first we need to get our claim, and then we need to get our research. And so I have these little checkpoints throughout the rest of my year. So maybe that's my big goal, and I'm going to post all the benchmarks as we get there. So I put some sample goals there, and you can read. And then how will you assess or communicate them? I put some just ideas that I had, like maybe I could do it like this, or how could I do it like this, but I want to make sure that I'm hitting all 5 of these buckets. Do not feel constrained to choosing things like I did. Do let yourself use these 5 buckets to help you toward creating this launch of your mission. And I put, like, what is your roadmap, but also, like, what is your rally cry? Sometimes it's really effective to have a rally cry, like Every Scholar Grows, or ones I put here, like Community of Intellects, or Work Hard, Play Hard, Reach Higher, Reflect and Improve, I Determine My Destiny, and overuse it to where it's obnoxious, right? But it's just this is who we are. Like, hey, this is what we're doing. Jump on board. And then how do you want to do it? Know your personality, know your kids, know your content, and you decide how you want to do it. Okay? So, this is how it's going to look. So right now I'm going to give you 20 minutes, from 10:30 to 10:50, to just on your own. Be in your own head, pull up your curriculums, pull up whatever you need to. You spend 20 minutes in your own space. After 20 minutes, we're going to come back and you're just going to pick a partner who you want to say, okay, here's kind of what I'm thinking, what do you think about this, what do you think about that, and then they'll be able to do the same for you. So you get a little moment of, am I totally insane? Does this not make sense? Are my goals clear? Okay. Then you'll have 30 minutes to finish up. Go back, do what you gotta do. If you need to make a poster, if you wanna, whatever, find a video, the world is yours. And then in an hour from now, so at 11:30, we'll all come back, do some group presentations, get some feedback, and then lunch. Lunch isn't that far away, but we got a lot to do. Okay? Questions?
We sit in our groups now,
Can you sit in your group now?
or do we? I mean,
You can sit wherever you need to now.
okay.
I just really want now to be sacred for people to have like silent time. But if you need to move to get things, that's fine. But I want people to have that space. Okay, so I'm gonna put 20 minutes on the timer.
Figure out small hearts. Can't leave this.
Alright, I'll give us like 60 more seconds in here to make me do what we need to, and then I'm gonna allow this to be a silent zone. Hold on to that photo. Alright.